Hey everyone, welcome to Evil PC Gaming and happy 2016. Hopefully everything's off to a good start for you. Anyway, this video is going to be a little bit of a change from the normal gaming videos. Kind of a follow-up to my setup video that I put out, I don't know, maybe a month ago. If you missed it, I'll link it here in the video. Anyway, if you caught that video, I had a AMD FX 6100. My son's computer was in need of an upgrade, so what better time to take advantage of that and upgrade my stuff than, of course, I'm going to give him the 6100. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to be making the switch over to Intel. I'm going to be running an Intel, the i7 4790K. With that, it's going to be 16 gigabyte of Corsair Vengeance 2600 megahertz memory. Everything's going to be mounted to a MSI Z97 Gaming 5 keyboard. Also picked up a new liquid cooler, the H100i GTX. Still going to be running the EVGA GTX 970. And the tower here is a Corsair Graphite Series 780T. Full-size tower. The other one was a mid-tower. And once I got it all together, I actually put the computer together first. Could not get everything to fit into my mid-tower based on where the SATA cables plugged into the motherboard. It bumped right up to the hard drive bay and did not give me the room that I needed to have a nice setup. Of course, with all the wires and everything, way too much stuff in there. Anyway, this one holds the SATA drives, 3 SATA drives on the back side. You just saw there in the video. As you come around to the other side of it, it's going to hold 6 other mechanical hard drives, or SATA drives, of course, you know, whatever you want to put in there. Has 2 5.5 or 5.25. Is it 5.25? Yeah, I think it's 5.25 bays. For I did put in the CD-ROM, and I bought a new fan controller. It's going to go in there also with temperature probes. What's also nice about this case is the front just clicks right off. Exposes the fans up front, so if I need to change those, nice and easy. My other tower had to take the whole hard drive case off. Also, for the Corsair H100i, the liquid cooler, it's going to go in the top. And what's also nice about this case is you can also pop the top off and have access if you just had regular fans up top here. The H100i has 2 120 millimeter fans. So the radiator is longer than my old liquid cooler that I had that was just one 120 millimeter fan. What I also like about the tower is all the covers that you saw have filters, you know, little screens on them. Most towers do. This one even has it in the bottom. You can pull out the top, pull out the bottom one, and then the back half also pulls out. So there's nowhere really for dirt and dust to get into the tower easily. So yeah, it's definitely a nice looking tower. There's a cross up between this one and another one with a hinged door. And also, while I was at it, I picked up a flexible LED strip with changeable lights. Since now I have that big beautiful window on the side, and also it would also come in handy to have the white on the LED when I need to work inside. It will act as a work light. So taking a look over here, this is the H100i, the new liquid cooler, all self-enclosed, dual 120 millimeter fans. This will mount into the top. I have the fans mounted on the radiator, so it pulls the cool air from the room down across the radiator. And of course, just like any other cooler, air cooler or liquid cooler, has the thermal paste already on there, though I might wipe it off because I do have the Artic Silver 5 to put on there, which is probably a lot more efficient than what's on here, though Corsair is pretty good at keeping things cool. So when I get everything set in motherboard wise, I'm going to shove that bad boy up in there. It will mount up high. You won't be able to see it once it's in the tower. And anyway, let's start getting this thing built. Now, unfortunately, I didn't have anyone to hold the camera, and I didn't have a mount. For video purposes, I was using my Note 4 cell phone to record. But anyway, you see the board. Now, I know the flash is throwing off the colors a little bit, but it's a black board with red accents. Pretty much all the motherboards have red on them for whatever reason. I would really like to have one with a nice green to it. So anyway, we will move on. Now, so far I have just a few cables ran, and this thing will turn into a mess. So as I'm going, I'm running the cables through the access ports to make everything pretty inside. So I'm trying to stay organized as I'm doing this. So far I got the power supply hooked up to the motherboard. I had the SATA cables ran out the back side, getting ready to put the hard drives in. Again, this tower has a ton of room in it. I can pretty much put my whole hand in the back. Now you see back here, the cables are all just kind of strewn all over the place. I will eventually have all the hard drives mounted in, get all the cables routed correctly, and keep everything neat and pretty as possible. And then that will be behind the solid metal cover. Okay, got the hard drives in and mounted, got the video card in its place, mounted the power supply to the video card. It takes 2 6-pin plugs, so I did that as neat as possible. Hard drives are all in place here. What's nice about this, just has a little squeeze tray. You squeeze that, you can pull it out. It's not a hot swap bay. You would still have to open up the other side and unplug the cables if you don't have enough room to swap them. So far it's all coming along nicely. Now onto the back side, I mounted my 2 Samsung SSDs. I think they're the 850s. I can't recall. They're both ran in a RAID 0. 2 250 gigabyte drives. I did that just to increase the boot speed, and I run my video editing program and some other stuff like Adobe Premiere on the C drive, and I want the fastest loading times and best writing times, of course, so I went ahead and stuck that on the SSD. Anyway, I like how it tucks them around the back there. They're out of the way, they're not loose, you don't have to buy any special cargo bays. So with all the hardware mounted and pretty much cables strewn out the back there, mounted the liquid cooler. Now liquid cooler, where it says Corsair there in the middle of the liquid cooler, that has a USB cable that runs down to one of the USB headers on the motherboard. It is optional, but you can do that to monitor all the motherboard systems, temperatures, fans, and also change the color on the Corsair logo itself. The white thing over on the side, that's that LED strip light. For now, I'm just letting it hang until I actually get power to it. Figure out exactly where I'm going to mount it. I think I'm going to mount it up towards the top, so it's on an angle shining down towards the board, so I have a work light. And that's about it. I got all the cables on the back side all straightened up, zip tied up to the frame. They had a couple of mounting points where you could run the zip ties through. Everything is closed up. I have not yet removed the plastic on the side window, of course, until I get it downstairs, and once I get my hands all over it and get it adjusted, get everything hooked back up. I didn't want to have to clean the plexiglass on the side. So yeah, all that mess fits in one nice little tight package there. It's going to look all nice and pretty. And let's get this thing downstairs hooked up and fired up. And here we are, all powered up and running. It's running at an idle of 22 degrees Celsius. According to the temperature probe that I have down there at the CPU, it is off 1 degree Celsius from the actual monitor software. It's showing 23 degrees Celsius, so close enough for me. Love the start-stop button on this thing. Reminds me of the start-stop ignitions in vehicles. And as a bonus, it came with the 2 red LED fans on the front, though it didn't say anything on the box. I assume they lit because they were clear fin fans. Corsair thing in there, it is lit. It's kind of hard to tell with the green. I put the Corsair lit the green. If it reaches over 70 degrees Celsius, the Corsair logo will turn red. Also, the fan controller will sound an alarm on me, just to let me know the temperatures are getting high. Anyway, let's mess around with the remote. Got a couple different modes. You got flash, strobe, fade, and smooth. Gets a little crazy, a little too much. It's a good eye piece, I guess, if you have some friends over and you're just showing off your new tower. Other than that, you hit any color that's on the remote, and it will go with that solid color. You can turn it off if you don't want it at all. You can also brighten and dim it to whatever your liking is. So let's try the smooth. Smooth is not I figured smooth would be kind of a slow fade in and out, but anyway, put the white light on, perfect for working. Now, of course, it's still a shadow underneath, under the video card. That's fine. All the main components are above that: memory, CPU, the cooler, the main plug to the motherboard. So anyway, that's everything, guys. Took me a couple hours to build, and it was worth the time. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Thanks for watching, guys. Alright, guys, that's my time. And remember, if you did like the video, click the like button and share it with your friends. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing for more videos to come. And if you have time for another video, check out the one right here. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and until next time.